What's going on, everybody? This is Ian Walker here again with Rising Legends Gaming. I want to thank you all for taking the time to check out this week's actual play. Again, this week as we're going through the actual play of my custom tabletop RPG, Rising Legends. Okay, so if this is you guys' first time here, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe button if you're into solo RPGs and things of that nature. I'm the guy for you here, hopefully. So I hope what we're doing is entertaining for you here. Again, if this is your first time here too, I'm going to have right around here, I'm going to have a card here to get you to the first video. And then at the end of the video, I will also have a card detailing the last video where we started with our adventure here. All right. So this week, we're going to be continuing on with the adventure that we started with our character here called Banur. And he was in quite a pickle. Again, if you want to go back and see last week's video where we began that adventure, you'll be able to do that. The first video was called The Protective Initiate. We're continuing here, and we're going to be doing that here. I will be going over some more mechanics of the system here so that you can have an understanding of how the Rising Legends system works, and I will be hopefully giving you guys an understanding of how everything works here. Once you get the system and once you get it down, it's pretty easy. There's also been some stuff this week that I've been working on that where instead of doing my play here, which I still love, I still enjoy it, I figured out a way to actually do solo play on my computer, and I'm going to be doing another video where I'm going to be detailing how I went about doing that. So look out for that video. That video might be this week, it might be next week, I'm not sure, but just make sure if you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you keep a lookout for that video, okay? But enough talking about this stuff, guys. Let's get back to our regular adventure here of Banur here. If you guys remember, if you guys watched the last video, Banur was in quite the conundrum-like pickle. He was tasked by his guild, and this is why here in my journal here, I have everything written down so I can really quickly get back to what I was, kind of do a quick rundown. So Banur was an initiate of the Warriors Guild, and he wanted to get entry. And so in order to get entry, he was tasked to solve an issue with a rival assassins guild. They found out that they were attempting to assassinate a dignitary in the local town by the name of Meghan Arlissan, and Banur was sent to protect Meghan and her little daughter Erica, to protect them from the Assassins Guild, who were there to kill them for some reason. Okay, Banur gets into a situation where 3 members of this Assassins Guild actually attempt to ambush the house. Banur dispatches the first 2, and where Banur started having trouble was the last one, who tried to flank the dignitary Miss Arlissan and her daughter through the front door. And Banur and the assassin, both were in a situation, and Banur, even though he managed to defeat the assassin, actually the assassin kind of assassinated himself by cracking a pill and dissolving his body, getting rid of all traces of his presence there. He is now laying on the floor of Miss Arlissan's home, bleeding out. Okay, so immediately we're in a situation where Banur is in a situation. Now, we spent a special effects point. That was the special effects point here. Would usually use in a situation like this, but this gives me an opportunity to go over more of the mechanics of how we want to do this. So Banur's hit points are all the way down to 0 at this point. And so the first thing I want to do for mechanics sake is you are allowed to, if you are at 0 hit points, and at this point he would probably be near unconsciousness, you are allowed to take your durability points here, okay, and spend for those points to give yourself 1 hit point. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I mark tallies here in the durability area. So those points are there, and now I am at 1 hit point remaining. Okay. I'm just going to put this here as a reminder here. So he's not unconscious. He's not dead. He's not dying. Okay. So because of this durability part, this pool of points here, dying becomes pretty hard to do in Rising Legends. It's not if you go past it, or if you hit the exact number 0, you're automatically dead. There's many ways of still keeping yourself alive. Now, the only time where you will then start needing to roll a complexity check to see a complexity score to see if you stay alive is if both your hit points and your durability pool points are completely spent. All right. I know in 5th edition, if you go past a certain amount of hit points, if you go over it, it's an auto kill. There are no auto kills here in Rising Legends. I wanted to try to make sure that we preserve the gameplay as much as possible. So, because there's still durability points left, and now Banur has 1 hit point left, he is able to stay alive and try to survive himself here. Okay. So if we look here, we have nothing in his adventures pack. He doesn't have any thing there. So what I want to do is I want to use now I'm going to use some dice here, and I'm going to ask some questions. As Banur looks around the house, he's going to try to find something around the house that will possibly heal him. So the first question I'm going to ask is there anything in the house per se that can possibly help Banur get his hit points back up? And that's going to be a likely scenario here. 60% there using a D100 shows that, and using a likely scenario shows that is a possibility. Okay, so it's maybe. So it goes from maybe using the oracle that I have here. All right. I've been improving on that oracle as well, and I'll show that in a little bit. I actually had it around me, but I'm actually looking on the computer at the oracle that I have online that I established earlier. Again, that's something I'll show in the next video. But at a 60%, it is possible. Now, does he have? So now, if it's a maybe, you're going to want to ask more specific questions. Okay, so maybe there's something there that can help him. Being a dignitary, is it likely that she's going to have some sort of deterrent to prevent herself from getting killed? Say, for instance, had Banur not been there to protect her, does she have some sort of something there to help preserve her life in some form or fashion? Now, her being a dignitary, I'm going to make this a likely situation. Okay, anything 0 to 10 is a definite yes, very high, extreme yes. Anything from 11 to 40% is a maybe, and or 11 to 39 is a yes, and then your maybes goes up from 40 to 96, and then 95 and on is a no. So we're gonna go ahead and roll the dice again here. I'm gonna roll that here so you guys can see that dice roll. We have 42% here. Okay, and again, maybe. All right, so we're getting a lot of maybe answers here. It's a possibility. It's like this. So I'm going to ask myself another question. If I fall into the maybe again, as a player, personally, I'm just going to assume that, yes, there's something there and I need to search for it. Okay. So I'm just going to ask the question, are there any type of healing potions or remedies in the home? Okay. So we got 82%, and that's a maybe again. Okay. So we're going to assume, yes, there is. Okay, we don't want to spend a whole bunch of time rolling a bunch of dice, asking a bunch of questions. So there is 3 maybes equals a yes. So it's a high possibility that something like that is here in the home. Okay, so Banur is now going to go ahead and try to get himself on his feet, and he's extremely injured. What he's going to do is he's going to definitely going to look for some bandages. So I talked about healing and stuff. Likely there's going to be some bandages there. So we're going to, oops, sorry about that. Actually, let me get the rest of these dice out of the way. I'll put these here. We're going to look for some bandages in the home here. at a 76% being likely. Yes. Okay, 71. And if we do it again, at 30%. So that's a yes. All right. So we definitely have some bandages. So Banur stands up and he goes into the kitchen. So now when we roll, if I'm asking a question, remember, if you ask a question, you as your own GM knows that that is in the home. That does not necessarily mean that your character knows. So you will need to roll to see if your character recognizes and finds that information. If you don't, that's called metagaming, and we don't want to do that. Okay, we want to prevent that as much as possible. So we're going to get up. So I'm going to have Banur get up. He's going to stagger and he's going to look around the house for any bandages and things like that. The logical place he's going to go is into the kitchen. He's going to look around, and I'm going to have him do a cognition check for that. Okay, so for him, I'm just going to have him do a cognition check since he's still level 1. Again, remember we established what complexity score it's going to have using 1d4. So if you're level 1 through 3, you're going to use a 1d4 for your complexity to see how that is. So we have a complexity, so it landed on 4 here. And that 4, that complexity score 4, remember our complexity scores are multiples of 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. So Banur is going to need to roll a 12 or higher. Seeing that this is a dire situation, okay, I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 points of endeavor, which is extra effort to get that done. This is also another cognition check, so I'm going to spend 1 more point of cognition. So that's a 3 taken away from the check here, okay? So whatever the D12, so remember, it needs to be a 12, and if we take that away, 3, 12, it's going to need a 10 or higher, okay? So we're going to roll a D20, and I roll a natural 1. Trash. Okay, so Banur is so distracted and so much in pain that he's kind of frantically looking, panicking, trying to find that, and he doesn't find anything, and he's staggering along the house, still bleeding out. So now he goes over and he makes his way to the bathroom area. Okay, he doesn't find anything in there. He goes over to the bathroom. We're going to do another cognition check here. We're going to keep that at that 12, seeing where he's at. You can roll if you like, or you can keep the former one. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to do another cognition check. You will still need to spend those points. So this time I'm only going to take 1 cognition point and 1 endeavor, which will bring that 12 down to a 10. Okay, so let's go down to, we're going to make that a 10 or higher. And it's an 8. Not happening. This dice has been causing me a lot of issues. I need to make my own dice gel. I'm going to set this one over here. For ish and giggles, let me just see what this turns out to. Look at that, 14. See that? All right, I need to use this one. All right, so I'll put that dice in the dice gel here. That one's on timeout. We don't like you right now. All right. So again, because we're rolled an 8, Banur is again looking around and he's frantic, and now he's going to his knees. At this point in time, his physicality is not physicality, but his durability is kind of being in question. So what I'm gonna do, because he's bleeding out, I'm gonna have him make a raw check, a durability check here. Okay. And if I'm going to go raw, I'm going to keep that raw at that 4, okay, at the highest level. He's bleeding out. He's injured, okay? This is almost kind of like an impossible situation. So I'm going to roll that cognition check, and look at that. Would you know it? Your boy rolled a natural 20. So he stays up, okay? Now because he stays up and he's looking around his battle hardened, he takes a deep breath and he continues looking around and rummaging. And because I rolled a natural 20, I'm going to take that extra point. Usually that point is given to you in combat for an extra point of damage or whatever. But when you roll a natural 20, it usually maxes your damage times 2, and it gives you an extra point or 2 points of extra damage. I'm gonna use that 1 extra point to do another check for more bandages. He's able to get himself together, and look at that. I rolled a 1 or 2, so he's not finding any bandages out here. Okay. All right. So now that he can't find anything, he's staggering about. He can't find anything. At this point, the desperation, he's just kind of running out of the home. And so what I'm going to have Banur do is he's going to go outside, and he walks outside, and everybody, as soon as he goes outside, he sees actually there's people kind of wandering about. And as he stands around and kind of looks around, he's at the same time looking for Miss Arlissan and her daughter, and he doesn't see them around, but he comes across someone comes up and sees him off in the distance and kind of runs up to him and is like, hey you, are you responsible for the dignitary? And Banur's like, I just fought off some assassins that were trying to get to her. Where's the dignitary now? He goes, she's actually in my home. Her and her daughter are in my home. She told me you were still possibly here. I just wanted to make sure you're all right, but you're bleeding out. You need help. Come on, come with us. And so, Banur doesn't hesitate. He just goes in. He follows the person in. They kind of help some other people from the village that are around, seeing the situation, come along and help them as well. And they go into this person's home here. When they enter into the house, Banur sees Miss Arlissan and Erica sitting on the couch, and Erica's kind of crying because she's still really scared about what happened. Miss Arlissan is there soothing her daughter, making sure that she's okay. And she looks over and sees Banur coming in with the neighbors. She goes, oh my God, are you all right? Because I'm fine. They tried to run off, but I wouldn't let them run off, and they're all taken care of. They're done. And then finally the neighbor is like, Mayor Arlissan, we have to get him taken care of. She goes, I understand. Go ahead and place him in the bed, and I'll go get some boiling water ready. So everybody starts scrambling around. One of the ladies in the home, you can assume is probably the neighbor's wife, starts boiling water, getting bandages ready. She goes over to a cabinet and gets some tinctures and other things of that nature, remedies to kind of help out. And she and the mayor, who Miss Arlissan now we find out is actually the mayor of the city, goes over with the neighbor and helps get Banur into the bed where they're at. They have a bunch of claws there that they're trying to stop the bleeding, and they're trying to work at getting that done there. So at this point, while they're waiting there and kind of pressing that on, Banur actually wants to know why people are coming after her. One of the things I'd like to show you guys is a table that I've developed here, and I'm gonna actually have this table made available soon. It is a role-playing table here that allows for actual role play here when you roll on certain areas. So you'll need a D12 to roll that. So I'm going to take this D12 here, and again, as things come about, I'm gonna make this table much more nicer and neater. But this is all in my other book. This is actually where I play my main campaigns, that I'm playing my own solo stuff. But I also have a lot of development notes here as well. So you see some things here. That's going to be, as I'm working on it, it'll get developed soon, okay? But, so what I'm going to do is, Banur's in the situation. He doesn't really know why the dignitary is being chased after, but this is a situation that's happening. So before we roll for what that is, we're going to see, I'm going to actually make a check for Banur, and since he's weakened, I'm going to do this with disadvantage. And in 5e, it's called disadvantage. In Rising Legends, you have something called an edge or disadvantage. Okay, so he's going to do this with a disadvantage. He's extremely weakened. His intimidation isn't at a high status right now, but Banur is still trying his best to search for answers. So we're going to roll a talent check. Okay. So again, first things first, when we don't know what that is, we're going to roll this 1d4 to figure out what complexity it is. Again, we're at a 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. So we're going to roll a 12 or higher. Okay. With that being said, we rolled an 18. All right. So Banur asks dignitary or the mayor, goes, why were they after you? What reason? Why are they trying to kill you? And because they're trying to kill you, Mayor Arlissan kind of, as she's wiping away the blood from his stomach, she kind of looks over for a second and kind of looks down at the floor. And it's almost as if she's kind of contemplating whether or not she should reveal this information. Like she's fighting with it in her mind. Right now, what I'll do is, because even I don't know, and so this is the fun part of solo roleplay, right? And this is why I made this table. So what I'm going to do is we already know the emotion, okay? So she's regretful, so we know she has some sort of regret. But for what? So now we're going to roll on the event table to see what kind of event there is, and that's a 7. So there's a meeting. Okay, for the event is a meeting. And if I want to stop there, I actually could. Okay, but I'm going to keep going. Let's go for a thing. What was the meeting for? What kind of thing was there a meeting for? Actually, this is 11, so there is no, you know what? I don't have the other 2 on there. See that? Messed up. Got to add some more to that. So actually, let's roll that, let me see, that's a D8, there's no D10. I'm going to roll that again, 5. Okay, so that thing is a trinket. Okay. And then, so you know what? Meeting and trinket. Okay. So with those 2 things in mind, we're going to assume that there is a meeting to protect a sacred trinket that she knows the location of a specific trinket, or might be in possession of it. Yeah, she's in possession of a specific trinket, and they're going to have a meeting about this trinket and possibly where it's going to go. Banur doesn't have any idea what the trinket does, neither does the dignitary, but it's something of great importance, and the Assassin's Guild wants to get their hands on it. Okay? So he asks, so she tells him, I have something in my possession that seems to be of great value to the Assassin's Guild. They've been asking about it over the last couple of months, and I have not allowed them to get their hands on it. And now it's come to a point where they're now seeking my life so that they can simply take it from me. He goes, what is this trinket that it's so important that they'd be willing to kill you for it? So I honestly don't know. All I know is that I was tasked to protect it. And in fact, not just myself, but it's been myself and everyone else who's been elected to become leader of this town. So Banur kind of sits up and he winces in pain a little bit. And after a moment, the neighbor and his wife come in with some more towels and things, and starts to try to do their due diligence. I'm gonna go ahead and roll another durability check here. Okay, I'm gonna roll raw a 4, because he is tired. He is still kind of losing blood. Okay, and so he does not make it. So that's an 8. So he's wanting to get answers, but as he sits up and he starts wincing, she looks at him and sees him wincing in pain, and she's like, I'll let you know later. Right now, you're bleeding, you're extremely hurt, and you need rest. And this isn't a matter that concerns you. And really quickly, Banur responds, "Listen, If it's a matter of me protecting you, you're gonna need to tell me everything. I'm not gonna let this go. He goes, well, it's not your business, but the fact that I'm here to protect you makes it my business. I need to know everything I can about this trinket and what it does, and why these people want you killed over it. We'll talk later. So she looks over and she's like, fine. We'll talk later. So she leaves the room. The neighbors come in and they administer the wound care. They wrap Banur in bandages. You see smelling lavenders and all of that stuff, all these different fragrances, and they're just kind of doing their business on him to get him healed up and repaired. So time goes on. They stay in the house for quite some time, and actually a day or two passes, and Banur wakes up from sleep. And there to greet him from his sleep, you see the neighbor. They're kind of looking over at him at the bed like, you're finally awake. Oh, so glad you slept for so long. We were wondering if you were going to wake up at all. Banur looks around, confused. He's like, where am I? He goes, oh, you don't remember. It's been a few days. You've been out. I gathered you from the mayor's home. You mentioned you took out those assassins that were trying to kill her. And as soon as he remembers that, Banur sits up, and again, he's still got the bandages around him, but his energy's back, and he's good. Ready to go. He's like, the mayor, where is she? She was supposed to tell me some information. So, the mayor, she took off with her daughter Erica just about a day and a half ago. Well, how long have I been down? So, you've been asleep for 3 days. You sustained quite a bit of injuries, Mr. We never quite caught your name. My name is Banur. I was sent to protect the mayor. Where is she now? Do you have any idea? Oh, no, unfortunately, I don't. I apologize, sir. But, I don't make it my business to ask or meddle in the affairs of the mayor. Whatever she does is her business. And Banur looks down and is like, oh, that's great. Now I have to search her out. He goes, where are my things? I must leave immediately. The mayor's life is in danger. He's like, in danger? Why? I'm going to clear. She's still in danger? I thought you took care of the threat. Like there's something bigger going on. She promised she would tell me, and now she's gone. I need to find her. So he's all, well, your things are over here in the corner. My wife washed up all of your things and polished your sword, and she assumed that you would want to leave and take care of whatever situations you were going to. But please, sir, you still need some more rest. You just woke up. You want anything to eat? Or I don't have time. He pauses for a moment. And he turns and he looks back at the neighbor. He goes, I thank you. I thank you for your hospitality. What is your name? Oh, my name is Cayman. My name is Cayman, and my wife Glenda. And I need to write that down. Cayman and Glenda. So, and again, like I said next week, I'm going to show you guys something that I did where it's online, because I usually keep this information online, but I'm continuing with the story here. But so Cayman and Glenda, neighbors of the mayor. Okay, and tended to Banur's wounds. I'll just put Banur's healing. There we go. I need to learn shorthand. I think that'd be kind of neat if I learned how to do shorthand, huh? All right. So he turns and he says, Cayman, I appreciate your hospitality. I really do. I'll see to it that when I get back to my employers that you are duly rewarded for your generosity. It was, oh, a reward is not necessary. We do what we can to help each other out here in this small town. We didn't realize that the mayor was in danger, though. Are you sure you can do anything about it? And Banur looks down contemplatively and is I think I'm the only one who can do anything about it. But in order for me to do so, I have to find her again. Tell me, whenever something goes on or you guys are in need of the mayor, is there a specific place that she goes to or any place that you know of where it's more than likely that she'll be found? To think for a minute. Oh, we couldn't tell you, to be honest. I'm sorry. We don't know. We really don't make it our business to meddle in political affairs. We're just simple folk here trying to make a life. I understand. Well, then, I'm going to need to talk to more people in this town and figure out where she might be. And if I can find some kind of leads, then that'll point me in the right direction. I just hope I'm not too late. So, okay. Well, I will say this. One place you might want to check, I mean, she won't be there, but if there's something really critical and very important, I would assume that she wouldn't bring her daughter with her on such a dangerous situation. There is a woman who runs a daycare here named Nula. Nula runs the local daycare. The mayor often leaves her daughter there under her care while she's taking care of her duties and her job during the day. Perhaps Nula can shine some light on some information about where maybe she went. It's not guaranteed, but it's a start. Cayman, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So Nula. So writing down that information, that just popped up top of my head. Nayla is a teacher at a daycare where Erica is kept. Okay. Oh, wow. You know what I realized? This is super quiet. I need to put on some jams. Let's see here. Let's put on some music. See, I didn't realize. Let's see, I'll just jump right into it. Y'all just roll with it, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's put that music on here. There we go. Little bit of ambiance. All right. So we know he's gonna head over in that small town to find Nula at the daycare here. So Banur slips on all of his gear. He gets everything on, and he sheaths his sword and all of that, and he gets all of his things ready. And he turns around and he gives a nod to Cayman and his wife Glenda. Thank you both again for your hospitality. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I'll make sure you're handsomely rewarded. Oh, there's no need. Don't worry about it. Just know that if you need a place to come, we'll be here for you. Thank you. Banur replies, and he shifts his one of his armor pieces onto his shoulder again, and he walks out the door. He heads down he walks down the path there outside of the home and turns a corner to where then he hits the main road of this very small town where he resides. He walks down a bit, and what I want to see right now, is there any kind of ruckus sitting around? I want to see what the mood of the town is. So the question I'm going to ask, is there any type of commotion or any kind of excitement going on in the small town right now? Okay. So what I'm going to put is, this is a very small town, so I'm going to say that it is likely. Okay. So we got a 32. So 0 to 30, or 0 to 39 is a yes. So we hit 32% here. So yes, there is. And what that is that people realize now, there's a lot of whispering and hushing going around that the mayor has left town, and no one seems to know why. There's a lot of gossip being whispered about, and as Banur is walking down the streets, he looks, and people actually are looking at him and seem to recognize who he is. And people look at him and say, And, they're not looking at him in fear, but they recognize, that, oh, this must be the protector. He kind of hears some things off, and he's like, oh, I heard the assassins were there, blah, blah, blah. He hears some different things like that going on, but he keeps his focus and he heads down until he hits a building where he looks up and he sees a sign which has a face of a baby with a little bald-headed baby with a curly Q hairdo hanging down, and he only surmises that this is the daycare where Nula is located. So he approaches the door, he knocks, and hello, who is it? He goes, hello, my name is Banur. I am looking for the mayor. I have some questions, if possible, and was wondering if you could help me. So after a few moments, the door cracks open, and she looks, and she peeks through the door, and she sees Banur standing there in all of his guard armor. She goes, I don't know anything. He goes, listen, it's of grave importance. I need to speak with you. The mayor's life could be in great danger. She's carrying something that's extremely dangerous, and if I don't find out where she is, she could die. I need your help, please. And so she looks at him squarely. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna roll a talent check. Okay, make a talent check. So first, take my 1d4. We're gonna roll that again, man, with the 12, man. I've been hitting 4s all day. So we're gonna hit a 12. So he's pretty desperate. So what I'm gonna do, now that Banur is fully healed, he's reviewed everything and he's been down for 3 days, right? So he's got all of his points back. The pool is replenished, so I can erase all of that. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to spend a point of endeavor, and I want to spend a point of talent. So that's 2 points. So that 12 now becomes a 10. Okay. So we want to roll a 10 or higher. Okay. To see if he convinces Nula to talk. And we rolled a 16. Excellent. So Nula kind of looks at him, and she eyes him up and down, kind of looks him in his eyes, and can see that he's really sincere about what he's talking about. So she cracks the door open and she lets him in. And he's looking around and sees all the kids, and the kids that turn around and look at him, their eyes grow big because they've never seen this big giant warrior before, and they're kind of sat there and kind of frozen in like fear and whatever. But she's like, don't worry, children. Don't worry, children. This gentleman here is just here to take care of some adult situations. Don't you worry. You guys continue playing, okay? Continue playing. So she goes and she ushers the kids over to the other side, and she turns back and looks over at Banur, and she kind of nods her head over, kind of gesturing him to go into another room. And he walks over there in that situation. He sits down and looks around, and it's got a lot of these, blocks and all these things that children play with. But there's a desk there, and there's another chair. So he removes his sword and all of that, placing it on the floor, and he sits down and he waits patiently. After a few moments, now I have something in mind to see if something happens while he's waiting there, while he's waiting for Nula. And what I'm going to roll is to see if Erica, by chance, is there. She walks in. So, and it is likely. So we rolled a 42%. So it's a maybe. Okay. So she might be there. All right. So with that maybe, I'm just going to leave that hanging in the air there. After a few moments, Nula finally walks in. And she goes and glares at Banur and sits down. There's a lot of people have been speaking about you and your exploits here. Some people think that you're responsible for the mayor running away. And there's some of us who think you actually helped and protected the mayor, or trying to otherwise. But the problem is our mayor is gone and she's disappeared, and we don't know why. She left her daughter here, she usually does, but when she leaves her daughter here, it's because she's going on a mission that she does not want her daughter taken care of, or be a part of. Like, so Erica is here. Yes, she is. She's under my care, my protection. Did the mayor tell you perhaps where she was going? No, she didn't tell me anything. Is it possible for me to speak with the child? She looks at him. This child has nothing to do with the situation, and I don't think she's in the right mind right now to be asking you questions. Listen, Nula, I understand that you want to protect Erica, and I understand that you want to protect these children, but the mayor's life is in danger. I need any and all possible leads that will help me. And if she told anyone where she's going, she might have told her child. I need to know. So again, Nula's looking at him very, very suspicious, and she's looking at him. So I'm gonna make a raw talent check again on Banur against Nula to see if he succeeds in getting her to talk to her. Now it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna leave it at that 12. Yeah, and it's a 3. We rolled a 3 here. So Nula is not budging. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If this child is involved in something or she knows information, it's good that she doesn't reveal that to anyone. In fact, her knowing any kind of information would probably place her in danger too. Maybe using the child as part of a tool in order to get her attention. I would never do anything to put her in danger. So no, you are not allowed to speak with the child. You're going to have to find your information somewhere else. Banur looks down. All right, fair enough. How many people know of Erica's existence? There's a small pocket of us that take care of Erica. Not a lot of people in the town honestly know that Erica is the mayor's daughter. There are very select few of us, and we wish to remain and keep it that way. It's for the protection of the child, first and foremost. Okay? All right. I respect that. Well, perhaps do you know of anyone who might know where the mayor has gone? Nula begins to think a little bit. And then finally, so what I'm going to do is actually I have in my mind, she takes care of a lot of other children in the town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a check and ask a question to see, is it possible that any of the parents of the children that she takes care of has ties or any possible information to know where she's gone? Or could have any information that could help Banur out. I'm going to put that in the possibly part of the oracle here. So in the possibly area, from 0 to 19 is a yes. From 20 to 89 is maybe. 90 to 100 is no. Okay. Again, the no area of my game is very, very low. And it's because I want to keep storytelling going, make possibilities happen. Again, this is just a sample oracle, so that might change over time, but this is what I'm going with right now. So in the possibility realm, we're going to try to look for a 1 to 19 possibility here. Okay, 57. All right. So it's definitely a maybe. She's well, I don't know for sure, but your best bet would be to just walk around town, try to talk to as many people as you can, but make sure you're not too suspicious. If you catch more attention than you already got, you probably won't have many people on your side willing to give up information, especially seeing that assassins have been running about. They might be too tight-lipped to give out any information. So, all right. I get it. I hope you do find the mayor. She's a good woman. And we as a town are kind of lost without her. We hope that you can find her and bring her home safely. Banur looks up and nods in agreement. Says, I hope so too. He grabs his sword and looks around. Gathers his things. He goes, it's just a good thing you're doing here for these children and these people. I wish you much success, Nula. He says, hey, you too. You have a good day, sir. You too. So he gathers his things. He walks out. Looks around. He just lets out a huge sigh. It feels like he's just constantly hitting brick walls as far as, trying to find out where the mayor went. So looking around. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and see if I can move this along. Is there anyone in the town that knows any information about the mayor and what could possibly be going on? I'm going to put likely. And that leaves us with the 84. So that's a maybe. All right. What I will say is is there anyone in the town who used to be mayor? Okay. Because it was revealed earlier that she has a trinket that all elected officials who were once mayors of this town had to carry with them. That they didn't know what it was for, but they had to carry that with them and protect them at all times. So is there possibly another old mayor, former mayor or mayors or politicians in town that know? Now I'm going to say definitely. This is a small town, but there's still a possibility on the definitely table, but there's a chance that I could fail, but very unlikely. But I'm going to go ahead and roll that anyway. And we got 72. So there's a maybe there as well. So I've got 2 maybes so far. I'm going to roll one more time. Okay. Because 3 maybes equals a yes. Okay. So now I've hit 54 on that definite table. So it says yes. All right. So definitely have a yes. All right. So right before he leaves, he turns back around to Nula, and it's like, quick question, kind of like Columbo style. Well, one more thing before I go. Who was the last mayor of the town before Mayor Arlissan took over? She goes, she thinks for a moment. Well, Miss Arlissan has been mayor for the town for the last 15 years. Well, before that, let's see. Dallas Ford. Yeah, Dallas Ford was his name. He was the last mayor of the town. Is he still live in the area? Well, we said definitely there's someone there. So says, yes, he still does live here in the town. He actually lives on the far end of town. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome. So, Dallas Ford is a former mayor of the town. So now he's hoping now that Banur can now try to start getting information about the trinket that now Mayor Arlissan holds. And if Mayor Arlissan knows some information, that knowing some information about that trinket could possibly get him insight to where she might have gone. So Banur now takes off, looks around, and kind of tries to go to find Mayor Ford's home, or former Mayor Ford's home. So he's walking around and he's asking people where Mayor Ford's home is, where he lives. He told it was on the other side of town. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have him roll a few checks where he's asking people using his talent, and whatever I roll in the 1d4 as a cognition check, this is what 4 again. Man, I don't roll nothing but 4s with this piece of dice. My goodness, man. Anyway, so 12. So every person he asks, I'm gonna roll a d20, and I'm gonna hit a 4, and I'm going to roll a talent check. Now I have charm, which is a +1, which I have not been adding. I need to add that +1 to that. So I'm going to add that +1, so that 12 that I need to roll now becomes an 11. So with everyone that that Banur asks, okay, is going to be, I'm going to need to make that roll. So I need to make an 11 or higher. Okay? So he finds one person and he inquires about Mayor Ford. And he gets a 4. That person looks at him and sees him coming and kind of gets a little bit scared and kind of scurries off. He's like, ugh. He finds another person and he goes up to them and inquires. Again, rolling that 8. Nope, that person's not wanting to talk to him either. They look at him. He's like, kind of just waves him off. Continues forward. He walks again for a little bit and finds another person that kind of eyes him and he's eyeing them. And he looks at him and is like, do you know where I can find Dallas Ford, former mayor of the town? And he looks at him and just gives him this glaring look in his eye. And Banur kind of senses something that's just a little off about this person. I rolled a natural 1, automatic failure. But because they locked eyes, Banur notices something that's a little bit off. When he asks a question and the person remains silent, eyes him intently, and walks away. Now, what I'm going to do is Banur's going to roll a cognition check, and it's going to remain at, well, it starts at a 12. I'm going to spend it in Endeavor and spend a cognition point. And the reason why is because I want to try to find something on him that kind of remember something about them. So that's going to be 11, 10, 9. You rolled a 7. All right. So he's looking at him and he doesn't anything. Banur just assumes like, man, this person is rude. And he continues on. But unbeknownst to Banur, this person is still eyeing him as he continues to walk away. All right. So that's some information me as a DM remembers, but Banur will not know about. So he continues on. He goes and tries to ask more people around, and he comes up upon this tavern with this beer mug, like that's being poured out. He walks inside, and he looks around, and the tavern is kind of empty, but behind he sees, 2 servers out there cleaning tables, and behind the bar, he sees the barkeep there wiping off the bar counter. And he walks over and sits down. He goes, I'm looking for some information. Your mayor is missing, and I'm here to find her. And I need information about her whereabouts, but I'm getting nowhere. The barkeep looks at him and is like, well, as I'm sure you've seen, there's a lot of people that aren't too keen on your arrival here. You bring up a lot of questions and fears. And judging on that, I can only assume that you are who everyone's been talking about. So looks and goes, well, or maybe you're more shrewd in this matter and can maybe see the importance of why I'm doing what I need to do. As I do. Every town needs its mayor. And every time the mayor goes away, this town seems to get lost for a while. But if you're looking for any whereabouts of where she might be, I'm the wrong guy to look for. Though it seems like everyone doesn't seem to know where she is. But, so, I've given it up on asking that. Does it seem like that's some information that people are willing to give up? Or if they know it all, or they know at all for that matter. Because I am looking for someone, though. Aside from your current mayor, I'm looking for your former mayor, Dallas Ford. Ah, Mr. Ford. Yeah, he glances up at the top in this tavern. He looks up at the second story, and over on the balcony, there's another set of tables and things on another floor, which have stairs that lead up to it. And the barkeep points up there. He goes, Mr. Ford is up there every morning. He drinks his tea, reads his morning paper, and enjoys the morning before he goes on and do what he needs to do for the day. He's actually up there right now, but I don't know if he's in the mood for company right now. He's going to have to be, especially if he wants his mayor to come home. So, yeah, well, as far as Mr. Ford's concerned, if Mayor Arlissan is gone, I don't think he'd really care that much that she is. Why is that? The two have been political rivals for years. He wasn't too keen on giving up his position as mayor. But because the people demanded it, that's what had to happen. What do you mean the people demanded it? Well, 15 years ago was the first time that the town decided to vote for a mayor that they wanted. And Mr. Ford lost that vote. He's been pretty darn bitter ever since. Really. Yeah. So, now asking him about a mayor that he saw as a political rival and is now gone, probably not ruffling his feathers too much. I don't know if you'd get much out of him. Well, doesn't hurt to try. And then Banur goes into a pocket and he pulls out like a silver credit. He places it on the table. He goes, "Do you mind delivering a flagon of meat up there for me in the next couple minutes?" Sure thing. Grabs and I'll get that right up there for you. Hey, good luck up there. So, all right. So, Banur gets up. He walks up the stairs and goes around one corner, rounds another corner. And he walks up to the table where Mr. Ford is there. And as he said, he's there sipping on his coffee and reading the local paper. Banur walks over and stands over him and just waits, puts his hands in front of him. "Mr. Ford, would you mind if I had a seat here?" He doesn't say anything. Just ignores him. Banur again goes up. "Mr. Ford, is the seat taken?" And he looks down, brings the paper down from his face, and looks up. "Can't you see that I'm here enjoying my coffee and my paper? It's rude to disturb a man's peace. Whatever it is that you want, you need to find it elsewhere. Because I actually have questions, and I need those questions answered, and I think you're the one who might be able to give them to me. Because I don't have to answer to you. You're not the law, and you're definitely not my mother. So if you're not any of those people, you can get out of my face and let me enjoy my morning in peace. The trinket that Mayor Arlissan holds and that you once held 15 years ago after you lost your position as mayor, what is it?" And Mr. Ford takes his paper, closes the paper, folds it up, places it on the table. "So you're him?" Banur responds, "What do you mean I'm him? You're the one that everyone's been talking about. The one who destroyed the assassins who made an attempt on Mayor Arlissan's life." He nods slowly. "Possibly. That girl has no idea what she got herself into. I tried to warn her. Tried to tell her she was out of her league. But she didn't want to listen. She's so full of ambition. Such a craving for power in such a young little girl that she decided to go for it anyway, despite my warnings. Now she's paying the piper for it." "How so?" "That trinket owns, let's say, a type of secret. A secret that I don't fully know or understand, but I knew my place. I shut up about it. I never asked questions. But, Mayor Arlissan, she's very strong-willed. Headstrong, doesn't know when to keep her mouth shut, doesn't know her place. She decided to ask questions. And when you ask questions, the wrong people begin to notice. And when the wrong people begin to notice, bad things start to happen." "And what kind of bad things are those?" Well, for the mayor, it all started with death threats. Started with warnings. And even I, for a time, told her that she should let go of the questioning, let things go. It doesn't matter what she's there for. She's got the position that she needs. She runs a town. Everyone loves her. Oh, she brought such a great thing to the city. A democratic town where everybody can vote. But she didn't understand was that what I had done was keep these people safe way better than she ever could. Her insatiable curiosity is getting her in a pickle, and I want no part of it. I warned her, and she didn't want to listen. Now she's paying for it. So you must know something. So what is it you aren't telling me, Mr. Ford? What little information do you know? Are you sure you want to get into the situation, boy? Because if you're asking questions as she did, you're going to find yourself in a very similar pickle if you're not already in it already. It's obvious that the people that were sent to her to kill her are already making moves. And now that you have dispatched these assassins, I'm sure you're now on their radar as well. So enough of the runaround, Mr. Ford. Banur begins. He's like, What is this? What rumors are there surrounding this trinket? I'll be remiss to just give away such secrets. Besides, I'm not the one who has a target on my back. I'm a man that enjoys simple pleasures. You seem to know my name. What is yours? Banur. Banur. Okay. Well, Mr. Banur, I'm a simple man who's learned to accept his defeat gracefully, enjoy his retirement, and not worry about the squabbles and quibbles and hardships of the regular people here. She wants to continue asking questions she has no business learning the answers to. That's none of my business. And if you decide that you want to be a part of that, well then, I can't dissuade you from your decisions either. You still haven't answered my question, Mr. Ford. What is it about the trinket that is so important? And right now, I'm going to have Banur do a talent check at 12, because he's very tight-lipped. We're going to make that, he has a charm +1, so again, that 12 goes down to 11. I'm going to spend an endeavor point and a talent point. Endeavor, talent point. So that 11 goes down 2 more. 11, 10, 9 to 9. So Banur needs to roll a 9 or higher to get him to tell that information. And that's a natural 20, people. Cool. So that natural 20. So upon rolling that natural 20, Mr. Ford looks up and says, "You really want to dig your grave in this, don't you, boy? Oh, hear me. I'll tell you what I know. The guild, or the people in which that trinket belongs to another organization that, again, that girl has no idea. It's very dangerous. You see, she mistakenly thought that becoming mayor, she would be running this town. But the one thing she failed to realize is that she doesn't run this town. It is the people in which she holds that trinket for that runs this town. The trinket that she holds around her neck is a symbol that lets the people know who really runs the show. Though under the shadows, hiding in plain sight, if you will, they are really the ones who run this town, who really keep the things here running. You see, I was smart enough to realize that. I knew my station, I knew my place. That is why this town never saw any trouble when I was here, when I ran things. But now, This place is running amok. Assassins are running around. People spreading rumors, gossip, things of that nature. You know, it's it's all crazy, really. But again, that's the price. So what can you tell me about this secret organization, then? Well, what I can tell you is that if someone asks too many questions and doesn't know their place, they are dealt with. And I believe that what might have happened. That is what might have happened. And there was only one other group of people that could possibly be of service to help the mayor try to make sense of whatever is happening. Or if she's foolish and has gathered more information that she's been looking for, she might be running headlong into the lion's den. I don't know. But it could be a possibility. So Banur right now looks intently at Mr. Ford, and he looks him over, and Banur wants to look for something on Mr. Ford to show any any sign that he might be either be a part of this organization or be a part of anything that's going on. Because right now, he's obviously found some kind of motive, right? You know, he might be involved in the mayor being gone, or might be involved with the assassins coming to her home. He can't be sure, but he is interested in that. So he's going to look for something here. So I'm going to make that a likely possibility, and that's going to be at 57. So 57 is maybe, okay? So he doesn't see anything on him there. So he looks again much closer, looks at his face, looks at his necklace, looks at his hands, and now we hit a 22%. And a 22% is a yes. So he looks down over at him as he once over the first time. He doesn't see much of anything. A quick glance, he just sees regular clothes of a well-dressed man. But looking down again, he has his hands on the newspaper, and on the newspaper, he sees on his hand where he's holding down the newspaper, he sees a ring on his left finger, on his right finger, on his right ring finger, and it's what looks like a red serpent with a black background there. And he says, "That's an intriguing ring you got there." He says, "I've never seen that before." And Mr. Ford looks and he says, "Oh, yes. These are some associates and friends of mine who gave me this ring. I got this ring when I was elected here 25, or actually now 35 years ago." Yeah. Very nice gesture, I would say. Always wear it. Keep it close to me at all times. It looks like more of a symbol of a guild of some sort or anything. Do you know what that is? Oh, not at all. I just fancy it to be a wonderful piece of jewelry. Now, when he says that, something goes off in Banur's mind. So what he's going to do is he's going to look at him and kind of make a cognition check to see if he believes what he's saying. We're going to go at a 12 here, and he rolls a 5. So Banur kind of looks at it and lets it go. And at this point, now Banur feels like he's gotten enough information that he can out of Mr. Ford, and so decides to leave. He's all, "I appreciate the information, Mr. Ford. Enjoy the rest of your day." "You too, young one." And he turns and walks away. And as he's walking away, the barkeep comes up the stairs with the Banur's flagon of mead. And he says, "Oh, you're leaving so soon?" And it's actually from Mr. Ford over there. Tell him it's on me. And he walks around the barkeep and walks out of the, walks down the stairs, exits the bar, or starts to exit the bar. And as he's walking out, Banur looks up and over at Mr. Ford, who's over on the balcony, who now has the flag of the mead, who's obviously been watching Banur. And he has the flag of the mead in his hand, and he raises the glass as in cheers to Banur. And Banur kind of cuts his eyes and walks out of the bar. So, I'm going to leave that here, and we're going to end the session here today. So, we see Banur's kind of doing a little bit of role play here. Was able to get some information, so that's really cool. So, before I finish up, I'm going to write down that information here. So he finds Mr. Ford in the local tavern. And he finds out that he was former mayor. He was elected out of his position. So him being elected out of his position kind of gives motive to be a reason why, Mayor Arlissan is targeted, right? I mean, you can only assume, but we're gonna keep finding out as this story unfolds. See, there's gonna be a lot more being revealed here. All right, so we found out Mayor Arlissan asked a lot of questions. So it's obvious that she's found out some things that were very unsavory as well, right? So she's still trying to find the answers to a lot of these things. So with that being said, I got some of this information down here. I hope you guys enjoyed the session here. We did a lot of solo role playing here, learning about some new characters that we got in. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions at all about the gameplay, about any of the mechanics here, or about the mini campaign I'm running, whatever that is, go ahead and leave your comments below. Make sure you hit the comment, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube madness I'm supposed to say, and hit the buttons below. Also, too, if you want to support me in what I'm doing too, I also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/IDWalkerArt. You guys will get updates on everything that I'm doing as far as my role play is concerned, also my artwork and my original art as well. All the money from there, though, goes into these videos and all the other projects that I'm doing, my comic book projects and things of the like there. But and if you want to see more, let me know. And if you guys have other suggestions as well, let me know in the comments below too. Again, remember, please always stay respectful in the comments, and let's all get along, have fun here. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to leave that here. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's solo role-playing action here, and I will talk to you guys next week. You guys have a wonderful one. Take care of yourselves and each other. Deuces.